Let's see how long this will last. Well, there's just a shovel in the grain with a big attachment on the skid steer over there. The first live stream called Rolling shut down because I ran out of battery. My GPS uses a lot of power and I did not have my phone plugged in. And so I tried to re-zoom it several times, but lost. So this is point 2 and it'll be on as long as I've got service. And I see 2 people in here. I'm one probably. So whoever you are, say hello. And obviously, since I'm driving, I'm not going to be responding a whole lot to the comments. But this is an opportunity for followers and my subscribers and my commenters, the crew, and my live people to have conversation with each other. There's Silver Crane Martial Arts, Shalom. There's 3 of you in the chat now. Say hello to each other, and you guys can have conversations while I'm tootling along. You can share testimony with each other. I know on the last chat, there was a lot of discussion about legacy and land and building up your homestead, the work you put into out of it, just a whole lot of really cool stuff going on there. We talked about some spiritual issues. We talked about Passover and the meanings, the spiritual echoes in it, about keeping feasts, about deeper levels in the Word. There's Scrappy Cat, Shalom, and Melanie Rice, and George. And how is everyone's Passover going? Well, now we're into unleavened bread, right? So I made unleavened bread at my hangout, and I made it twice. So I left some for the people there, and then I grabbed enough for me to have some. So here I am having my unleavened bread for the day. Unleavened bread says you're supposed to have each day. So there's mine. I'm a little spicy. It's kind of tasty. There's Aid. Hey, Aid. Seeing what's going on in your home country. Let's phrase that a different way. Hey, Aid, what do you think about what's going on in England and comment you on being smart and shit? Hope that's not too much information. Oh, here's another one of those buses. Wichita County. There is PP. He was in the last live stream. Yeah, I ran out of battery on that one. Thank you for commenting in there. Also, the rental car tries to access your phone. Really messing up the live stream. And that live could not disconnect because the power had gone off and I had not officially ended it. So I had some trouble. I actually had to pull over on the side of the road at a self-serve convenience store, use their facility, and shut that live down. And then interim, while I was still driving in Colorado, it tried to resume that live stream several times and it kept ending it because there was no service. And so it was kind of like Groundhog Day. I'd be watching it, it would offer me end it or start it again. I would try to start it again and it would reset the timer. So it was like Groundhog Day. Every time I did that, and I did it probably 10, 12 times, started the live stream timer over at 2 hours, 1 minute, and like 40 seconds. And I could see that each time we'd start over at 2 hours, 1 minute, 40 seconds. So it was kind of, I was amused, but I was also, curious and thinking, what is it going to look like, the final product? Because when I ended it, it asks me, some questions, and I upgraded the description and I turned on the monetization, and then I don't know if it's still like that or if it tried to start that live, 12 times, and now there's 12 little videos that are, 2 minutes long that I'm going to have. But I figured once we got into Kansas, I don't know why Kansas would be more developed, that service would be a bit better, and it is. And so here we are, still traveling, and got 35 miles on this highway. We're passing our 30th little grain mill on the left. I finally stopped at a regular store and got more gas. Yep, there's Terra Firma. Terra Firma was in the last live stream. The pump at the last station told me I was full though, and I wasn't. So I have 2 bars less than full, which annoys me a little bit, but not really. I think I can get where I'm going without having to stop for gas again, but we'll see. Still out in the wild open prairie. I'm just driving through grassland, cropland, passing tractor after tractor. I saw a white-tailed deer run across the road. After I saw that antelope miles later, just the one. And now we're into cornfields, which we didn't see the whole time we were driving through Colorado. I think there were wheat fields up there and grass for hay. The place I was visiting had it really was high desert. I'm gonna upload a video, an ASMR video of me walking through that high desert, and there literally didn't seem to be any grass at all. And yet in the small town around where I was staying, there were tons of people with horses in their backyard. It was neighborhoods and stuff were not arranged like they are in a suburb. They could be property anywhere from, probably a quarter of an acre all the way up to 10, 20, 30 acres, kind of just willy-nilly. And a lot of them had horses. And I was thinking, wondered where in the world are they getting the feed for them? There was literally every field that the horses were in had just a few weeds or zero greenery in it at all, just like high desert, sandy, dusty, and yet they all looked healthy. None of them looked skinny or malnourished, so they were obviously feeding them something. And then when I talked to a local, he said, oh yeah, not that far away are huge alfalfa fields, huge hay fields, and that's where they're getting the feed for them. And they come through the feed store. It wasn't an Atwoods, and it wasn't a TSC. It was a different brand, but they were selling hay in those places. And I guess people, instead of just setting them out in the field like sometimes you do when you have a good grass supply and good hay supply, you just set a bale out there and let them tear it up. No, I think they were all putting them in feeders so that it didn't get trampled, and could make sure they got every bit of hay for the money they're paying for it. Driving back east feels like you're making more progress because you cross more imaginary lines. Exactly right. Yeah. It's still not on a major highway. Passing White Woman Creek. How appropriate is that? Now there's more traffic on the road since it's not early morning. Mostly trucks. The last place I stopped, a gas station, had 2 women clerks and me. We were the only women in there. Everyone else was a man, ranging from probably 16 to 80. There was definitely the one old fella, and look, I'm having my mid-morning snack, not very healthy. He probably was at least in his mid-80s. Coming in to have his breakfast and sit at a little table in there. drink his coffee, and probably socialize with other guys his age who have not come yet, but I bet you they'll be there. And sit there and drink coffee and talk probably till noon. America, right? You go to any little gas station in any little farm town, and there's always those guys, and it can be gals, but I think the women tend to like going somewhere that's not a gas station more than hanging out in the gas station for breakfast. Maybe the church group or something. Here's one of those houses with the evergreens around it. Perfect example of what I was talking about somewhere in the last video. It's a sign that you are out in the lines of evergreens were to keep the wind and the snow. Like block it. And so someone planted them. Those were not just blown out here. Somebody intentionally planted them to shield their house or their shed or their barn from the winds that come whipping down here. Okay. All right. They had great chicken. My uncle's eating breakfast at the same, eating breakfast at the same little hardware gas station every day when I was a kid. My grandpa used to, in his hometown, they had a little breakfast bar restaurant. They probably sat 30 people, and he and all his generation of friends who lived through the World War II time frame may not have served, but with that age group, it was full every morning. They always had breakfast together, and they were very social with each other. Club, more greenery. They all were in like cards. They would play cards together. Very, very social. Reading the paper, occasionally talking to each other. Got a lot of wisdom from those men, but it could never be enough. Well, wisdom comes from knowledge and experience, and we're all on that path. Lamp keeper. Just stopping in to say hi, very busy at work today, don't have time for a visit. Safe travels. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right? Some of you guys are moderators. Love it. SK, you should head this way and just make stops to visit us, each along the way. Laugh out loud. I would love to do a tour like that sometime, but right now it's not that time. I have a schedule. I have things I need to do. I need to get back to Shofar. But I think that'd be a hoot. See inside the irrigation now. Irrigation machinery. There's a lot of that in Iowa. This is just gonna have to stay the way it is, guys. Woo. You guys are lucky I'm even doing this. I guess I should say I'm lucky I'm even doing this. Coming into another little town. It has 2 water towers and a grain mill. That's how you know it's a little bit bigger town. Here we go. No, I don't want to do any of those things. Here we are. I can fix it better on my next stop, but that's only going to be for a couple of hours, hopefully. All right. This whole town has a line of evergreens on the south side, the west side. Yeah, it's not south, the west. Barn quilt capital of the U.S. The fame. Okay. Let's see what we got. I'm not sure if they need quilt patterns on arms. That house had a quilt pattern on it. that is a storm shelter for the whole town. Because out here, they get the tornadoes. They sure do. And sometimes they wipe out entire towns. They got the old folks home. Nice. These buildings are a little bit more substantial, a little bit better kept up than some of the ones in eastern Colorado that were pretty much just shells of towns with the clapboard construction and that's a new black tile roof. I don't know why you would roof any structure with a black unless you're in the northern states where it's cold. Out here in the summer, that black roof would be really, really hot. Really hot. Like your air conditioning bill would be outrageous. All right, let's see if I can fix this. We're at a stop sign. There we go, yeah. Okay. All right, and we are just continuing on, and they have a massive grain silo. It has probably 20 storage parts to the tower. Yeah, this town is alive. It has an auto parts store. It has that silo. It has several buildings. There we go. Can y'all see me? Just do a thumbs up. A hotel and an RV park, gas station, a Dairy King drive-in, Heritage Meat, Charlie's Mexican restaurant, a county fairgrounds. That's probably one reason why it's doing okay. Farm store, another gas station, help yourself. All right, moving on, and a Dollar General. Dollar General took over. Walmart used to have those little market stores, and I guess they didn't think they made enough money from them, so they left a lot of little towns with no store, and DG moved in, and good for them. Terra Firma gave a thumbs up. Nice. Okay. Oh, and another gas station. All right. There. No, that might be disc golf. Disc golf is kind of popular in Kansas. Waste disposal site. Dynagrow. Ag Solutions. Yeah. It's doing okay. Ooh. I think they're loading a tractor trailer truck with grain, and it's throwing off the whole dust cloud. Either that or that tractor trailer is on fire, but I don't think it is. I think they're loading the grain in the back. All right. Dollar General clothes here, some attended bidding in different parts of time. How do you do something simultaneous in different parts of time? That is correct. Maybe time was supposed to be town. Yeah, they're loading something in that thing. Yeah, town. There you go. Stupid spell check. All right. One down. I always ask for bags when I'm traveling. for trash, and I always ask for napkins at places when I get food. Because one, I'm a messy eater, and two, they come in handy for all kinds of things. Okay, we're about to pass our first bank of wind turbines. Isn't it curious how it's windy today, and at least 6 out of 12 are not turning at all. But it's hard for me to tell if the other ones are turning or not. The one doesn't look like it has any blades on it. And a couple of them look like they only have one blade on them. Oh, there's one turning. The first one has no blades. The second one has 2 blades not turning. The third one is turning. The fourth one is turning. Okay, so some of the ones I thought that didn't have any blades on them are turning. I just couldn't see it. Put my computer desk in the sunroom so I can tend seedlings easily. There are so many windows I get distracted by birds and squirrels. Yes. I haven't been back in a bit, but I know everything on Shofar is going to be different than when I left. A lot more greenery and a whole lot more birds. Small animals. We had another baby goat born. That's the last for this iteration. And we had the male separated out because he was being such a jerk. I would like to get rid of that belly. So we're not, all the birthings happen that we expected to happen, unless a chicken decides to sit on a nest and hatch chicks. So everything I see there will be different, will be greenery, grass, bushes, trees. Some of the plants were already blooming when I left. There could be fruit somewhere, don't know for sure, but you know, there'll be more insects. It'll be a different temperature. I'm going to have to swap over clothes from winter clothes to summertime clothes, stuff like that. Well, that's a nice park picnic area. All right. So let's look again. Nobody behind me. Not a single car. Can't see anybody in front of me right now. Now there's a big truck up there. All right, I was wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're working. Why did I doubt? Kansans usually like stuff to work. Okay, so it's probably providing power to the town up ahead. But there's another line of them, and they are definitely not spinning. At least a couple of them. That one's not. Look at that big operation. I don't know if you can even see it. They got a bunch of mills, silos, stuff here. Heartland Mill, main office, the Country Oven Bakery. Yeah, most of them are running. Well, good on you, Kansas. Okay. 16 miles to our next town. 16 people in the live. Cindy, how's your week? You still on deployment? Yeah, where are you at? Concrete block or adult Legos? Amen. Or Legos are children's concrete blocks. Scotty John, there he is. Sister Kate rolling again. Tennessee. would love to be on deployment. I really enjoyed the one I went on, but time will not allow. And Lord knows there's been enough in the last month to keep people busy for 6 months. There's a lot of hurting people out there and a lot of good to be done. But I want to think I'm doing good too. Oh, three not working. Four out of 20 not spinning. I got to get back to work. Listening along because you're keeping me company, Sister Kate. You guys are keeping me company too. Don't forget to say hi, y'all. If you just came in the chat or whatever, do a thumbs up or a something. I saw you and PJ on the deployment I was on. Huh. That's pretty cool. Which one was that? Sending prayers for endurance and direction. And protection. Okay. Kansas City. Kansas City. That had to have been a while ago. Second deployment, Bethany House. Okay. KC is just waiting. All right. A little over 5 years ago. Yeah, I remember the Bethany House deployment. But we were only there a short time. And there were a lot of people there. Are you a younger guy or are you an older guy? Shush up. Your house out in the middle of nowhere, outside of town. All right. Middle age now. I'm just lurking, helping my mom recover from back surgery. Well, isn't that nice of you, Melanie Rice? I'll be 48 in May. Well, I wish I could say I remember everybody at that deployment, but I don't. I remember there was an older guy who was running it, who had a lot of experience. I remember Maria was there, and she was finishing off rooms and things like that. And I remember there were a bunch more people. Some of them from out of state. I had the impression that you were out east somewhere. I bet I'm wrong. If you went to Bethany House, you were probably more local than that. And you had livestock, right? I was among those brother coded called Happy Hands. Not skilled in anything particular, but happy to help. I'm from Wisconsin. That's right. I should try to remember you by sticking Wisconsin, Wisconsin, John, because it all rhymes. Wow, that's a cool little farmstead. Because I've been recommending people to go to her channel for a long time, but I think she was offline for a while, and her channel just got revived recently. Pretty hard. I have after a couple of 3 deployments, one gains some skills. Yes, one does. I wound up being in the kitchen most of the time on my deployment, but I am CERT trained and was an EMT and firefighter, volunteer. So I knew a couple of things, but there were plenty of things. Me and brother Jody, we ended up cooking up big pots of stuff like spaghetti and soup and so on. Ooh. Coming down from elevation, my ears needed to pop. There's a letter. Grandma Ginger's farm, shalom. I just woke up. Inventory thing. What's up, SK? Well, Grandma Ginger farm. I'm driving. Had to go some places, see some people. You know, OPSEC, I'm not going to give a lot of detail. Beef operations. Big old stockyard. That one doesn't smell as bad as the last one. I guess the wind's blowing in the correct direction. And right next to it is some sort of processing mill. Maybe they do compost the manure. Even animals are laying on it. It's not in big piles, like it's ground levelly. So maybe they compost it and then bag it and sell it, which would make sense as long as it doesn't have chemicals in it. You might as well utilize it. Nope, it was grain. They have grain right next to a cattle finishing operation. So that grain is getting a fine layer of manure on it while it's sitting there. Not very appetizing. Maybe it's feed for them. Maybe they're not worried about it. Oh, here's another one on the other side. You can probably see some of it as I go by. Now the smell hits me. Ugh. Cindy P, I'm back at the fob, so I have to run. Have a blessed day. SK and all. Good to hear from you, Cindy. Good lady, Miss Cindy. Kind soul. Looking greener, isn't it? We're still passing fields, but it's definitely Kansas farmers. They take their jobs seriously. That's probably wheat again. The Mennonites left. Where'd they start? They started in like Austria, and they kept heading east as wars and things pushed them. And they finally wound up in Russia. I think it said under Peter the Great, he offered people free land to come settle parts of Russia. And he was friendly, but then when Catherine took over, she was not friendly to them. And by friendly, what the Mennonites would ask for is not to pay taxes and not have to do military service. And what they brought with them was the winter wheat that they learned about while living in Russia. And so when they were kicked out, a bunch of them came to America. 40,000, I mean a lot. The Mennonite movement grew pretty large. And to the Midwest, some of them in Kansas, and they brought the winter wheat growing seeds and technology, what they knew about how to make it grow well, with them. And that's how Mennonites, established themselves here, was teaching the people who lived here how to grow winter wheat, and then they grew it and they harvested it and made flour from it and sold it, and that's how Mennonites made a living. Was selling products made from their wheat and growing their wheat and teaching others. And so I learned that on one of these drives, driving through and then looking up, because there was a sign on one of the highways that said, original Mennonite college or something, and then got the whole history. Prayers for safe travels wherever you are headed. May Yah bless. Thanks. And may Yah help you get over your respiratory infection. There's Sheepdog Tanker. Shalom and good morning, everyone. Sheepdog Tanker did a really funny comment on the live stream that I did yesterday about Azure Standard and Homestead Hints and everything. He said, Shalom to recast crew members. And I thought that was hilarious, because that's you guys who watch the videos after the live streams. That's y'all. You're the recast crew. And I actually thought that would be a pretty funny t-shirt. I'm just rolling along, taking everybody with me, because it helps the trip go better for me to be able to have distraction, I guess. Driving on the highway, I can have private, quiet moments of reflection, but after a while that gets boring for me. It's more interesting for me to have some kind of interaction with something. And sometimes it's just listening to the radio, although out here I'm probably not going to get the kind of channels I want to listen to. I'm not really a podcast listener, even though there's a ton of really good podcasts out there and a lot of really good information, including Bear's podcast and people like Sean Ryan and, Taurus Sisters and just all kind of, but that's not as much of my jam as listening to the radio or being on a live stream, even though I can't see your comments all the time. Just knowing that you're there and I can talk out loud like I am right now and comment on what I'm seeing, like that power station right there. This place is using a lot of power, or it's a central location for the other cities around. All right, am I going to have to turn in here? Keep saying just keep going straight. That's why I like you guys to talk to each other, because this is an opportunity for you to contact people.
In a quarter mile, continue straight onto Kansas 96 East, West 5th Street.
That you may not have met in person, but you know of online and have seen in other lives. As much as I hate lane break or working on a truck, I'd rather do that than sit at a desk. Right? I just spent about 2 weeks indoors, which was fine, but I realized how much of my life at Shofar is outdoor.
Continue straight onto Kansas 96 East, West 5th Street.
And that's really what I prefer. Even though amenities were awesome and I was super comfortable and well taken care of.
Continue on Kansas 96 East for 116 miles.
Right? I'm turning right? I'm turning left. Oh, in 116 miles. What a... Oh, this is a nice little town. Got some substantial buildings here. And that lighter colored brick, not red. It's kind of pretty. And here's Main Street. Just like I said before. Oh, do you see how wide that is? The reason there are wide roads in some of these older towns is so that a wagon being pulled by 2 horses can turn around. That's why there's some really wide main streets in old towns. The main street was usually the first street established. And then they called it Main. And that one's called Myrtle Street. That's because there was probably a lot of myrtle bushes planted. And that's called Antelope Street. Wonder why. And then many towns also have streets that are just numbered: First Street, Second Street, Third Street, Fourth Street, or named after presidents. There's a Madison Street. It's just whatever. America, Jefferson. Yep. Okay. So we're through there. I can see where the stadium lights are over there too for the high school football games. OPSEC, yo. Oh, I wonder what OPSEC means. Gosh. I'm fine. She's stuck in the middle of nowhere and not sticking around. That's a very eloquent way to phrase it. I'm scoot booting, boot scooting. Out in the middle of the great, look, in the middle of our great country. And there's a lot of it. There's a lot of the middle. Much middleness. Oh, turn that colder. Well, the sun's shining on me like that. Get too warm. There we go. When aren't you joking, saucing? Huh? I've heard you can be pretty saucy. Another line of the evergreens. And bloody, hiding all sorts of stuff from the wind and the snow. And then green. Beautiful green. One thing about Kansas, in fall and early spring, it's brown. It's just everything. Grass, trees, everything brown. But you know when spring has sprung because it does that. And they do burn in Kansas. They burn fields and get that regenerative growth. The fields turn from brown to green because they keep feeding them back with burning them, the ash and the minerals and everything. And it's, yeah. Kansas has it going on. Done with clerical duties, hitting the road. Bless y'all. Safe travels. Safe travels to you too. There's 14 of you there. Everybody wave. Everybody wave or give a thumbs up. Come on, no lurking. Or if you are lurking, at least identify yourself. Whoa, okay. Okay. Whoa. Slamming on the brakes. There goes the cruise. Okay, there we go. Get back up to speed. Come on, y'all. Can you still hear me? Give me a thumbs up. I've got 2 bars. Oh, that must be an industrial farm. That looks like the headquarters of it. Very impersonal, very business-like. Huh? Big ag. Back to cruise. Come on. There's Casey. Thank you, Casey. At least you waved and put a thumbs up. Lunchtime for me. Are you going to eat lunch where you're at, or are you going to go out for lunch? I should be eating lunch here soon, another hour. But I can't eat anything with the stuff. There's Scotty John. Thank you. Can't eat anything with the leaven. Got to figure out what I'm going to do there. I guess I could just get a burger, no bun, and fries and try to eat it with a fork. That would be nice and awkward. I could do some Oriental if there was an Oriental drive-through. Something with noodles or rice. Could also stop at a store. Could have some fruit or something. There's Grandma Ginger's farm. Gotta go feed and take care of the critters. They're going back to bed. Yes. You go back to bed. You have like a tea with honey and lemon and vinegar. Oh, I just hit that bird. I'm so sorry, bird. Hopefully it survived. Not trying, it flew right into the front of the car. Yeah. What was I telling her? Oh yeah, and cinnamon and like I think I already said honey. Just load that tea up with all the good stuff, Grandma Ginger's farm, some ginger and pineapple juice is supposed to be good for respiratory too. Take care of yourself. We are here going to have a chimichanga picnic with the family for lunch. Awesome! Shalom to all of the J Fox 7s. Still out here. I'm in Kansas. I recently stopped in Tribune. You betcha. That's right. We know how to take care of ourselves, right? We know the stuff that's good for us. Another bird. Jeez, look at me dipping like I'm actually going to hit it. Whoa, pigeon. They're all sitting on the road getting warm. I can't blame them. It's just, get out of the way. I have used Malayne in place of albuterol when I had to, and it helped. Yep. Supposedly, the smoke of the Malayne plant is supposed to help reduce swelling in the lungs. Also, any mint product. That's why Vicks Vapor Rub had a lot of mint in it. Wintergreen or spearmint or something. Peppermint, etc. Wife made chicken, asparagus, and roasted potatoes. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Yummy. I had some fries and didn't realize there was yeast in them. It wouldn't be in the actual fries, but it might be in if they coated it with something. That might have yeast in it. Yes. Chimichangas, huh? Oh. Here comes another grain mill. All right, so like 3 of you checked in. That was it. 3 of you. Come on now. I know there's more of you out there. There's 14 people. I took other to Arby's and we just ate the brisket off the sandwich. See, there's an option right there. That would work. Now there's only 12 of you. Lurkers don't want to be called out, I guess. Either that or people are busy. Using Malayne tincture and tea also. Oh, there you go. I love that idea. Malayne tincture. That's awesome. I could actually make some of that. Is it a vinegar or a alcohol tincture? Yep. That may have been a processing thing at one point, but now they're storing logs there. Oh, they got a lot of IBC totes and a lot of junk. Interesting. And then 5 or 6 combines. Oh yeah, that's a commercial. That's a commercial farm operation. Stop. Birds. All right, back here I am. 10:20 a.m. supposedly, although I think mine says something. You've made both. Oh, you are something else, Grandma Ginger Farm. You are totally got it going on. tea and tincture are better for maintenance. If you're having an asthma attack, do the smoke. You guys have all the bases covered. Okay. Cornfield on my left or right, wheat field on my left. I'm gonna take y'all with me while feeding critters, but may not be able to respond, just listen. Well, that's fine. That's kind of how I'm doing too. Entered a new county. Yay, making progress. Love it. Maybe I do a little stretch. Up, up, up. Woohoo! Coming up on another grain mill. I'm surprised, shocked. I tell you, shocked. Any good matzah recipes? I'm not a real creative matzah maker. Mine is just the basic flour with water with some olive oil and some salt. But I have heard of people making like chocolate covered matzah. I've heard of people doing pizza with matzah, tacos. I always think of, but I haven't really done sugar and cinnamon matzah. I think that would work great, whether you actually put it into the flour mix or if you made sort of a butter, sugar, cinnamon mix and then spread it on the matzah. I think you could even roll that up and cut it so it's like little round things. And you could just, make garlic matzah while you're mixing it up. Just throw some real garlic in there or garlic powder. You could do sour cream and onion matzah. If you just think of it as another bread, and then just, all the different varieties of bread, brioche, honey matzah, just mix it all in there together. And I've said it before, it's like a cup of flour, a half a cup of water-ish, tablespoon of oil, and, maybe half a teaspoon of salt. And that makes 6 to 8 of these little guys. And if you want more, you just, same ratio, more flour. 2 cups flour, 3 cups flour, 4 cups flour. And then just up the water the same amount. Anybody else? Anybody else got a good matzah recipe? Really light? I'll tell you what. I did a harrow set, which is not required, but it is one of the things that is traditional, and I don't see any problem with it. So I made mine, and they call for figs and raisins and all sorts of stuff. I didn't have any of that, so mine wound up being chopped apple, a little bit of chopped orange, chopped cashew nut with a cranberry blueberry juice and a bunch of cinnamon. I think that's all I put in it. And I just stirred it up really good. And I ate that yesterday at breakfast time, but I like having it on the matzah with the lamb and the horseradish. Oh my gosh, it's so tasty. But it was good, could be good, put on matzah and eaten that way, or put in my yogurt. I just ate it straight and chewed some matzah on the side, and it was still delicious. I don't know why I don't have that more often. It stands for the mortar between the bricks that the Israelites were stomping out in the clay with the straw. It representative of that. Wife wants to try sugar and cinnamon, but I like plain Jane with salsa. There you go. It would taste great with salsa. It would taste great as a nacho, I think. You could put it in the oven with some cheese and some salsa, and then sour cream when it comes out. Maybe some avocado. Ooh, that'd be good. Some guacamole. I've been spoiled by my wife since we started keeping Torah. I have never made matzah. My children have, though. It's the easiest thing in the world if you had to. Scotty John, matzah hero. I haven't tried it, but if you can get the matzah soft enough, I bet it would fold nicely. Exactly, you could just add, a little bit more moisture into it, maybe like an egg or something, and it might do that. A hero is a great idea. I had some delicious heroes recently. I think I was near Denver, and they had a kind of Greek restaurant. They made their baklava unlike, I think it was very fresh, and it was very different from what I'm used to having as well. But their lamb hero was really good. And lamb is good. As any of us sheep herders will tell you, lamb is good. It's tender, it's juicy, it's flavorful. You could also use matzah to put like a scoop of vanilla ice cream on and then top it with some sort of topping. That would be tasty as well. What do we got going on here? American Family Insurance and another grain setup. Looking a little less industrial, although hard to say. If it's a family operation, it's pretty big, and they still have a lot of equipment. And those are brand new metal silos. AGI. No, I don't think that's a family operation. I also do a matzo quesadilla on a regular basis. That would work. Matzah enchilada, that would also work. Just fill it with the stuff, roll it up, pour the sauce on it, bake it. If you think about it in a prepping way, knowing how to make matzah, if you, for some reason, don't have any yeast, but you store flour, you would not be stopped in preparing food that had, an unleavened bread. You already know how to do it. A lot of unleavened bread got cooked on hot rocks too, or in some sort of little outdoor oven. It cooks fast. It's like 2 minutes aside. I cooked some of mine in beef fat. That gave it a little bit different taste than olive oil. And I had a sister friend who cooked hers in almond oil. I think that would be really a very light. Almond oil probably has a very light flavor versus the olive oil can be kind of heavy, if you know what I mean. Back up to 14. I wonder if I push that, if it tells me who's in here. So you're going to tell me back down to 13. Huh? No, you just tell me the number. Okay. My wife likes to experiment in the kitchen. Over the years, I've had every way I could imagine to eat matzah, and none of them were bad. And your wife is a good cook. She makes large amounts of tasty food, which is a useful thing when you're in a tribe. Sometimes that's called upon. We have one sister, man, her potato salad to die for. All right, here we are coming to another town. Let's see what the speed limit goes down to. We both come from large families. We build a large family. Cooking for 30 people is normal. I have cookbooks, Amish and Mennonite, with recipes for cooking for large amounts of people. I probably ought to utilize them a little bit more. The one has recipes for 100. How many cakes do you make for 100 people? there's a stadium bleachers. Maybe they have a racetrack. Could be for a show too, like a cattle auction or horse shows or county fair kind of stuff. All right, we must definitely slow down. Will do. I will try some of these things. Back to work, welding chairs and tube bending for me. Well, be safe. Be listening in the background. God bless you guys and gals. Thanks for stopping in, Casey. All right. Lots of farm equipment. It's a tidy little place. Yeah. Coming into the downtown, I see the iconic brick buildings. They have a city park and a hospital. That's nice. A coffee bar. There is a gas station. I'm not going to stop. I don't feel like stopping. I need more gas, but I don't have to. Whoa! All right, here we go. Straight through. Yep. Got the First National Bank, the newspaper, title company, event center. That was a gas station. Another body shop building. Gas station for sale by owner. They just didn't want to upgrade it. Got a house for sale. That is Flatlands Garage, car repair, and there's like a little diner place. People are stopping. That's not sure what that is, but it had an open sign. That's a cute little Cape Cod. All right, there's the Dollar General and a fire station, volunteer fire station. That's kind I was on. All right, back out of town. Next city, half hour away. Okay, little blue car. Here we go. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Trying hard, singing music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. Alright, here we go. Like a band of gypsies, we roll down the highway. That's a partially in-ground house. You will see them. Oh, there's another one. 3 of them. Probably built by the same builder. You will see that in Kansas simply because of the storms and the tornadoes. You will see partially in-ground houses. There is Jesus. Shalom. Hey, Suze. Welcome to the live stream. This is my 4th hour of live streaming. You are helping me to make this trip a little bit more interesting for me. I mean, I don't know if it's interesting for you all. Here, I'm trying to make, although you won't be able to see me as well. Oh, that's a big old cemetery. Wow. I guess the poles are for flags. And you can see there was an older stone area in there. I'm very opinionated about cemeteries. And on the right-hand side, which you can't see, nice household. Kansans like to keep their yards tidy with the trees, the evergreens I'm talking about. Excuse me, and I just avoided a pair of doves warming themselves in the road. And there's some of the daffodils I talked about in the other live stream in the front of someone's yard. I'm very opinionated about my cemeteries. I don't like what we do in America with the tidy little geometrically shaped space with stones that are only 4 inches high, evenly spaced out, and rows that are laid out very straight. I don't like that. Now, granted, people who have to keep them tidy, who want to mow them and weed whack them, like them in order, and people also like them in order, so you can say, yes, your sister or grandma or whoever, Uncle Bob is down row 3 and over 4 stones or something. I like the English model. I like the Highgate Cemetery in London, where I went when I was in college. That is a mishmash. Nobody tends it. It's got overgrown trees and overgrown grass and flowers hither and thither, stones of all shapes and sizes, stones that are like a full concrete angel with wings, stones that are cross-shaped or you name it. I mean, all different sizes and stuff. That's the kind of cemetery I like. It has atmosphere. It's been in several movies. It's spooky and scary to go in there, and there's just something about that appeals to me. And if I ever have the opportunity to open a cemetery, that's what I'm going to do with it. And it's going to be straight in front. First of all, it's going to be Israelites only. It'll be ground consecrated to Yah. There will be a fee because the land will cost something, but it won't be outrageous to be buried there. It won't break your bank. You won't have to sell your house or go in debt to be buried there. And I will allow people to sprinkle ashes as well if they want to do that. It'll have Shabbats. It'll have feasts. Yeah, I want it to have land for sale. I wonder how much. I would want it to have an atmosphere, like some sort of stone wall, hopefully dry stone, with the occasional memorial, whatever headstones that people want, and absolutely no mowing. Probably some wild rose bushes that are overgrowing. People can put a bench in there if they want. Yeah, all that stuff. Let me go down here and see if anybody's got a comment on that. Can you guys even see me or hear me? Hey, Sue said shalom, and I don't see anything else. Can you guys see me and hear me? Ah, there's Grandma Ginger. Yay! I prefer a family cemetery and laid to rest on my own property. And that is an option in a lot of states. I think you might have to go to your health department, maybe for your county, to get the guidelines, but there's a lot of family cemeteries around where I live now, and I know it's still legal in the state I'm living in. And doing your burial yourself is legal in most states. You just have to look it up, and everybody just kind of falls back on the ambulance taking someone to the hospital, and the hospital saying, well, we'll transfer them to the morgue, and then the morgue saying we'll transfer them to a funeral parlor, and you don't have to deal with it. But a lot of places allow you to do your own burials. That sounds much prettier than what we have here. Loud and clear, SK, says Sheepdog Tanker. Right? Yeah, and I also would not mind bringing back widow's weeds, the black clothes to mourn for the death of your friend. Because in modern life, mourning is not the same. And I don't know. I'm not saying we should glorify it, because the Lord's like, let the dead bury their dead. But I don't know. I feel like there's nothing wrong with trying to, I guess maybe there is biblically, you're not supposed to carry around the memories of the dead. You're not supposed to tattoo their date on your body or anything. You don't want to revere the dead. I might have to think about that a little more, but I'm still the same on the cemetery. Hey, Sue, thank you for being a channel supporter. And a faithful one at that. What do y'all think? I have always wanted to be buried on my own property with no grave marker, but a fruit tree above my body. Right? We all have our wishes. I want a fountain. I want one of those concrete fountains with horses' heads on it or something. A little ostentatious, a little bit silly. I know another brother who wants to have a bench and possibly with his concrete statue of him with his arm around part of the bench so you can sit down and just chit chat. Whatever. We all have our little fanciful ideas. I joke about becoming tomatoes. Put me in the ground and plant the tomatoes over top of me. Or potatoes. That's probably not actually a good thing to do, though. You don't want to put edibles above. Tree different. You don't want to eat a potato that grew in someone else's body, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. I just think it would be cool to feed my family long. Fruit trees are a little different. I don't think they'd be actually imbibing your DNA, but I think a tomato plant or a potato plant, yeah. It's not recommended that you plant them in fresh manure or any of that because, it's more direct transference. My children have been instructed to plant elder on my grave. Elderberry probably is what you're saying, huh? You could also have the tree right next to, or the bush at the head of, or at the feet of, right? All right, that's a tidy looking barn, round topped. It's got the door so you can put the hay in the top. More air conditioning. There we go. That's going to make a sound in the background now, isn't it? Yeah, that's the cooler side down there. And there's another windmill, a real windmill. Metal structure, the fan, the tail on the end so it can move in direction. The pump's in there and it's got a concrete trough right next to it. This roadbed has been lifted up a lot. 5 or 6 feet. There's runoff downward. And it's very smooth, very level. Come on, birds, get out of the way. Nobody in front of me or behind me. It's almost like I own the road myself. Or maybe Yahweh knows that it's safer that it just be me out here. Okay, so there's 3 random, not full-length truck trailer beds out in the middle of that field, along with various bits of farm equipment. I always joke with PJ, that's where human captives are kept. Whoa. There's also now seeing some pump jacks. There are people who pump gas, natural gas, and also oil on their big farms. And a guy driving his truck fast on a dirt road, so he's got a big old cloud behind him. Typical And there's a wooden and metal cattle rounding up pen right there. Hey, all right. I gotta assume you're still there because this thing hasn't said that we're lost signal. And I just passed some sort of historic marker. I don't know what it is, but it's up here somewhere. Breaking news. There's a historical marker up ahead and a no passing zone. There's no one to pass. There's a fresh line of the evergreens. They're surrounding something up there. And they're very well tended, very well sculpted. There's the historic marker pull off. I am not going to pull off, but there's a sign there. No doubt it was a battle or something. Homestead of a Genius. Oh, and the very well tended evergreens is around a cemetery. And it's got a white, vinyl fence around it too. Very tasteful, but again, boring. Geometric shape. The stones were not all the same though. I'll give them that. And they did have poles for the flags. Jesus says, still here. I always want to stop at the historical marker to see what they are, but I just never stop. Again, if I had time on this trip, I definitely would stop. I would like to know the homestead of a genius. Which genius and what did they, what sort of thing did he come up with? Thank you for helping me get my road trip fixed, says Aaron E. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, Aaron. Yep. If you wanted to go through the central part of the country and basically have in the background these fields and the telephone poles and the railroad tracks and the mills and the little towns, this is the right live stream to be on. Kind of surprised me on the way out, stopping in a random little town to stay in a hotel, and right across the way was an Asian fusion restaurant that was really good. Really good. You just never know. And I'm not the queen of these road trips. I know other people who stop at all the little tiny restaurants and sample all the local specialties and things. I usually don't have time for that. Hey, you see? It's good that there's no traffic around. I don't need to worry about that. My eyes are getting dry though. Okay. Oh wow, there's a whole ton of evergreens out there. They were not kidding. One of the whole area is sheltered. Now we're starting to see some more livestock. The railroad tracks are on the right and the left. Or maybe it's just the power poles. That's a railroad track bed though, because it's raised up. Yep, they moved it. The road and the road. We're now the other way. And there's a pump jack and some oil storage. And then the supply people come and pick it up out of the storage, and you get paid for whatever they take or whatever you have to get. And that railroad track had big culverts under it, so I think they must get some big rains out here at some time. There's Dusty. Afternoon, Dusty. Is it afternoon? Where are you at? Are you in like California or something? I'm just road tripping, Dusty. I'm just like free associating and allowing people to come on the live stream and talk to other people on the live stream, because obviously I have to drive. I glance over, and occasionally I can look at your comments, especially if there's no traffic around or anything. I'm not on a major highway, so there's very little traffic to deal with. There's hardly anybody on the road at all. There's nobody tailgating. There's nobody passing anybody. It's a very quiet trip, which I appreciate and enjoy. And I get to comment every once in a while on something happening in the background, like architecture. I don't know if you guys can see it though, so I try to describe it. That's a snowplow. That's a snowplow attachment, maybe for a train back there. Huge V-shaped metal plow front. And we're getting into horse country a little bit. Here's two pintos. They're brown and white. Oh, the one might actually have been an Appaloosa. And there's 3 rows of the evergreens on my left-hand side. So they're serious. They must get some real wind in here if they're going to plant 3 rows. Yeah. You see that out in the, like, Montana, North Dakota kind of places. I don't think about that. Also, we're getting into some rolling hills. Kansas is not all flat. The eastern part is flat, but eventually it does get to be rolling hills. It gets to be the Flint Hills, which is a whole section of the state that is kind of rolling. Missouri, it's almost noon. Okay. So, I gotta look. This clock might not be on that time. It might still be on mountain time. Because it's not almost noon on the car. I don't know if I can get my phone. There's 9 of you now, huh? All right. Yeah, I can't get my phone to show me a time when I'm on a live stream. I have the time of the live stream on there, the number of people in the live. I can touch your name and I can put you in timeout and stuff like that, and so can my moderators. But I can't, my phone won't tell me what time it is right now. I've also got my GPS running, and I cannot see how much battery I have left, but I've got the phone plugged into the car, so I should be good there. And it's 69 miles till my next significant change in direction. So I've still got a ways to go. I was just reminded of a physical therapy appointment. I find no pleasure in leaving my property, laugh out loud. I'm enjoying this road trip, good company, and I'm not driving. Well, there you go. Hey, Susan, what more could you ask for? What's your therapy for? Your back? And what's new and exciting with you, Dusty? All right, so if this town has a fast food restaurant, I will probably either get out and go in and use the restroom and get food, or drive through and get food. Because I had a yogurt at 5:30 this morning, and I've had some chips and 2 Reese cups so far. I'm okay with not eating super healthy food on the road just for ease and keeping going. Muscular and skeletal. Well, there you go. Work hard. 11:54 Central Standard. That might be me now. Backs, hips, and knees. I did notice being off shofar and being away from all the hard labor I do voluntarily. I have way less aches and pains than I did. My hands are the exception. I still use my hands a lot this trip, and so I can have nighttime or morning time ache in my hands, but I didn't use my liniment one time on the trip. So obviously I'm overworking myself, but I'm enjoying myself. I don't want to stop doing things on the property and making changes for the better. Speaking of which, oh, you work overnight? Last night I was listening to, hang on, I was listening to the Stonemont series. I was glad, but surprised to hear they made their books. I don't know that I'm in the books, and I was reading the Stonemont series, and I know my husband was in there. I know the Millennial Man was in there. I don't know. Oh, someone just texted me. I don't know if there was more because I started to read them, and then I think the Homestead series came out, so I swapped over to reading them, and I haven't gone back to Stonemont. Yes. I didn't know you could listen to them too. That's interesting. Is it on Kindle or something? I didn't continue stretching when I got out of the Army, but I did continue breaking my back. Well, that's probably not a good idea. My break is almost over. Back to work. Safe travels, says Jesus. All right. Well, thanks for dropping in and commenting. Appreciate it. More pump jacks. All right. This looks like a fairly substantial town coming up. It's kind of spread out on the horizon compared to some of the others. Okay. I really liked the Stonemont book, says Joe. Fox 7? Is it the brothers? It's a family thing, right? And he's got like a redoubt somewhere? See, I'm getting it mixed up with another series where the guys are in the Ozarks and he's got a family home, but it gets blown up or something and he's running all over the place. I don't think that's Stonemount. I'm gonna have to go back and finish them. It's on Audible. The Vikings made an appearance when the Midwest and part of the South come together. I kind of remember that. Yep, I'm just gonna have to read over them. Oh, well, what do you know? Hey, there's some welded sculptures over there of, I think it's natives on horseback. Yep, it's natives on horseback. That's kind of cool. Somehow starts in Kansas after an EMP goes off. I kind of remember that, and I kind of remember the guy leaves the city and maybe he's got a bicycle and he goes to his house. Yeah, I kind of remember that. John Doe, I'm watching late and also lurking. No lurking, at least you said something and now we know you're in there. Okay. Big old mill, underground, half underground house, going across a bridge. These little towns on a creek, North Fork of Walnut Creek. Let's see if it's dried up. They got pretty good bridging. No, there's still some water in it. It's full, and there's a really cool barn. Welcome to this town. the feed stores right inside the city limit. Love it. All right, there's a Dollar Tree and a Family Dollar. Ooh, you know they're upscale. They got them. There's probably also a Dollar General. They're the equivalent of a five and dime, right? You can just go in and get the little stuff you need, and it's not going to break the bank. You kind of need that in America because our towns are so spread out. You need little stores like that. There's an RV park. Looks like you could have about 5 RVs and a beautiful old building. It was probably a school. Home Oil Company. Here's the main road. It's super wide. Could even have been the county seat. Yeah, that's the county courthouse, that building. Nice. Beautiful old church building and a town square. There's a guy dressed like a cowboy. Oh, there's a church. Cactus Club is a restaurant. Okay, I'm not stopping at a restaurant, although it would be pretty cool to do it, I'm sure. Lunchtime especially. They probably have stuff like chicken fried steak or something, and a Mexican restaurant. El Dos de Oros. Mexican restaurant. Doesn't look open right now. Okay, there's a food truck. Another church. Took the steeple off. Interesting. That might have been a boarding house at one time, a 2-story house. There's an inn, low rates. There's a Conoco gas station. I should stop, but I don't want to. Back to almost half tank of gas. There's the thing. Track field, football field, bleachers, all that stuff. Ugh. John Deere dealership. Yep, not the kind of food I need. It's gotta be fast. Okay, and next town, 11 miles. And in an hour, there'll be a town where I can get some regular food. So I might have to wait another hour. That Asian fusion place is there an hour away. I might stop there. I bet they can whip me up something good to go. Once I learn the exercises at the physical therapist, I don't really need to go back, but he does do acupuncture with electricity. It helps loosen the deep tissue muscle. Well, that sounds interesting. Old building over there, or Mexican. Right. I knew that. Mexican. To go pretty fast, order it, and you get it like within 20 minutes, maybe within 10. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's certainly possible for me to do that, but I don't really like Mexican very often. Like, it's a little bit harsher. It kind of has to be the kind that'll come with lettuce and tomato and a sour cream and stuff, because it's a little bit harsh on my stomach. But that fusion place that's an hour away, yeah. I'll be able to get a rice dish, and it'll be tasty and yummy, and maybe a curry, like a Thai-style curry. So that's probably what I'm going to do. If I was really talented, I could call it in, but then I'd have to mess with the live stream, and I don't really want to do that. What I'll probably do is just shut the live stream down in an hour get the food to go, possibly eat it in the car. It'll be messy, but whatever. And then if I need to or want to, I can do yet another live for the day after I get on the road. But it's possible I won't as I get closer. All right, do I want to pass this guy? No. It's a big car coming. I see. I'm 40 with gymnastics and a martial arts background. It's a constantly stretching and maintenance workout for me. I have a lot of body imbalances from not stretching before. I find stretching in the morning helps. I'm not doing anything official as far as workouts. Those kind of things bore me. I'm way more interested in just playing a sport or doing things outdoor. And so that's why shofar is perfect for me. All right, here we go. Past this truck. It's not going slow. It's just not going as fast as I'd like to go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to stop in an hour and get gas too. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I had one back jump that jammed up my skeleton. Yep. Yep. Jumping out of airplanes has risks. It has an effect. I lived misaligned for 17 years, including the 14 months in Afghanistan. That's rough. I would think a chiropractor might be able to help with that as well as a therapist. Shofar needs some of my parkour gym. All mobile blocks like giant Legos and bars. I sponsored an event in Vegas and now are all sitting in a bar. We have lots of rocks and trees we can vault over. Excuse me. We have trees that need moved. We have trees that need cut down. We have trees that need milled. We have rocks that need moved. And at this point, we need to use heavy equipment to do most of that. Excuse me. My goodness. Oh, poor old house with the roof caved in. Looks like the roof might even have been shakes at one time. Nice. They don't build them like they used to. They throw houses up in 3 months. They can help with most of it, but the bulge discs are just that way now. A forest is a parkour gym. Yeah, I've got some lower back issues, but I make sure I don't overdo it, so it's just a sensitivity and not a disability. A skid steer would be nice to have. It absolutely would. I saw that Refuge was offering sometime heavy equipment operator training, and I told them I wanted it, but I don't know if they got it scheduled or if I will have time to actually stop what I'm doing and go there. I think I'm going to have a lot of time at Shofar this summer where I'm not going anywhere. Maybe in the fall. Maybe in the fall I can travel again, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any traveling from now until September. Okay, so there's dust devils in the background, or possibly somebody driving down a county road. There's one car ahead of me, one one car and a tractor trailer truck behind. A skid steer, yes. Yes, indeed. All right. Dusty, what did you do for Passover? My father passed away and I've been dealing with that. A lot of family drama. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We had some tragedy in our area as well. In the roll up to right before feast, you get a lot of drama, get a lot of spiritual good and bad going on. I'm sorry to hear that you had to deal with that though. Family drama is always very hard. Man, those are some old buildings. Old. You can tell it's some sort of concrete block, light colored, but it's got a kind of bulging texture to it, and it's definitely old. Bazine Methodist Church. Oh, slow down. That's a nice looking. Looks old, being made new, two-story house with a porch. And in the middle of town, they've got looks like possibly a quarry situation going on. All right, nope, gotta slow down more. All right, I'm gonna stop here and take this. I didn't want to stop, but I think I should. I don't like traveling with half a tank of gas, right? Or less.
In 600 feet, turn left onto Kansas 96 East, West Washington Street.
All right, there that is. Okay. All right.
Continue on Kansas 96 East for 50 miles.
Yeah, I'm gonna find land and everything. You've got it going on. All right, y'all. I'm just gonna leave the live stream
Head
going
north toward West Washington Street.
while I go and get some gas. And you all can like talk amongst yourselves or whatever. Don't think I need to go in to go to the bathroom or buy anything. So I'm just gonna pump the gas and then come back. Yeah, and I think what I'll do is just aim you backwards. There you go. I'm gonna turn the car off. There. All right. Okay. traffic. Right, I don't think you are, but we'll see. We shall see. Yep. You know what? I'm glad I stopped, because that was like the fastest, easiest gas I've had pumped on this whole trip. And it was an old school kind of pump thing too. It's okay, the GPS lady will keep us company. Yeah, that was fast. I like that. Okay. Let's see if that filled it up. It's still not full, and it kept saying, no, we're full. I don't want any more gas in me, and yet it's not full. What is up with this crazy car?
Continue on Kansas 96 East for 50 miles.
50 miles. All right, that's a church. No real steeple, but a little cross on top. It is St. Luke's Lutheran. Huh. 50 miles. Yes. Wonderful. They have a really nice support, but they don't have really nice evergreen bushes and trees and stuff around their house. Yeah, they've been there a while. Okay. My friend thinks GPS time to take everyone a slightly longer route to sell more fuel. Well, I'm okay if... I like the fact she's got me not on the main highway. There, I'll put it that way. Alright, so now there's 8 of you. 8 out of 8,000 subscribers. What is that? 1%? 0.01% of my subscribers are on my live stream right now? Wow. Boring content, I'm willing to admit it. But if everybody showed up, it'd be a whole lot more exciting. I miss when map reading was a necessary skill. It was necessary. You could definitely get lost if you didn't have a road atlas with you and you were traveling cross country. Although our highways are very well marked. But once you're off the highway and it's County Road PP or MM or MP, yeah, then you could get lost. Or County Road 1204 instead of County Road 1402. Yeah, my cup leaks. Napkins that come in handy. Alright, so we going another hour. Lost you for a while, but I'm back inside now. Gonna fix my tea and lay back down and rest. You do that, lady. You lay down, rest, and heal up. Respiratory stuff, not fun. Wow, that's huge. Somebody did a big old Christ pilot me on the side of their hill with 3 crosses. Looks like landscaping timbers painted white. Christ pilot me. Wow. In the bottoms now. Yeah. If it rained, all the rain would be down on these fields. And the railroad's now on our left side again. Alright, pardon me if I nibble some chips or something. I'm getting hungry. Every time I hear air brakes on the live stream, I think UPS is here. Astute observation. Oh, what is on stuff? Come here, you. Very therapeutic. Kind of has a buttery taste. I grew up in Asia and the Ozarks. Two different worlds. Sure is. What part of Asia? The town I grew up in had two stop signs. Also, the town I grew up in was like, it had two roads, a 7-Eleven, and a Safeway, and that was it. And now it's only been engulfed by the DC metropolitan area. And one light and a sign when I was a kid. Yep. Now most of the roads are 4-lane. Exactly. There was a cute little store in downtown that would serve ice cream. It was so good, and it was within probably a half-mile walk from my house, and we would walk down there as we got older and get an ice cream. Totally gone now. Japan had almost married in Bhutan. Bhutan. What? So Japan would be way different. Bhutan, Muslim? Or would they have been Hindu or Buddhist? I know I've heard the name, but is it more like near Nepal? It's like the Ozarks, but bigger mountains and Buddhist. Yeah. Almost married to a Buddhist? Interesting. Maybe a couple of chips. Where'd I put my chips? Somewhere where I couldn't reach them because I know they're not great for me. All right. Well, I just have to live with that decision. It's between Tibet and Nepal. Very, very, very Buddhist. Hey. Well, what were you doing up there? Were you a missionary kid or something? Well, they've got a rest area here at 1,000 feet. That's nice. I don't need to stop, but it's nice that they have it. You can probably get coffee in there. Definitely use the restroom. Tiny little town. Wow. Barely any houses. Like one house. Oh, and some huge red, and some of the tan buildings too. Huge red building in the outskirts of town. Probably was the school. Might still be the school. Yeah, nice. Beautiful. Beautiful building. And then here's a tiny little, might be a tobacco shed, tiny little square building, clapboard, barely hanging on next to it's a wind thing, right? Windmill, right? They say they measure their wealth in personal happiness, but they still have issues like anyone else. Now, from the Ozarks, and a tornado hit my home. Good gracious, I was either to be adopted. So you were orphaned or go on a foreign exchange. I took the exchange and traveled. Wow, adventurous. Maybe And you have an interesting history. Nope, going by another stockyard. And we're definitely in some hills now. There's some of the big wind generator things up on that hillside, and they're turning. I ended up in Japan working on TPP. I'm not sure what TPP is. It took me to Korean intelligence and back to America. Interesting. And somehow you wound up understanding Torah. Very interesting roundabout way. North Korean intelligence or South Korean? I'm going to guess South. In the bottoms, and there's got to be a creek or a river or something right over there. The trees are taller. Right? Beautiful old farmhouse with the tan bricks, but falling down, and a tree in the front yard's taking over the porch. Trans-Pacific Partnership. I've never heard of that. Look at that. Anyone that has lived outside the U.S. and moved back is really glad to come back. That is true. John Doe, if you lived overseas, Father works in very mysterious ways, eh, Dusty? Sure does. I think it's good for us to go abroad and see other cultures and appreciate our home life, but also understand other cultures. I think it's good for us to have that perspective. Yet another grain mill. And they have so much grain, they have a huge amount of it out in a parking lot covered with enormous tarps. And they weigh them down with tires. Whoa, okay, I can't do that or I'll knock that through. That town is really not a town anymore. Probably has 10 people living there. My dad said when he came back from Germany, the bus full of GIs cheered when they saw a Kmart. Best thing I did for myself was move back stateside and stay put. Well, where were you gone to, John Doe? I'm surprised the Wi-Fi is so good, even out on this road where there's nothing. England and France mostly. Oh, I didn't live in England, but I did um, a semester studying in London, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not saying I want to move there, but I enjoyed the food and I loved the culture and the history and everything. When I stepped off the plane from Afghanistan in Atlanta, I never and will never be so happy to see concrete everywhere. Afghanistan is like a totally different planet. I've not been to France, but something else that you don't realize it maybe until you go over there is how small they are compared to us. Like our country is so much larger than most European countries. They're like the size of one of our states. And so their culture can remain, very, very whatever, because they don't have to change a whole country with culture, although we still have our regional and even state identities. I was so happy I bought the guy's bootleg CDs. I didn't even want to laugh at that. The London you remember is no more. It's like Afghanistan now. Yeah. I was there many, many years ago. And as a student, like we did London-y things. We walked around the city and we looked at landmarks and learned about the history of the city and all that stuff. You're right. I get you. And France too, really. When France started saying, "Oh, you're terrorists, come on into France. We're liberal minded and we're all about equality and fraternity and all that other stuff." Back then, Pastor and I were like, "No, don't do it. You think these terrorists come to France and going to become French citizens? Maybe, but they're still terrorists, and they're still going to plot their little things. And now you've had some nightclub bombings and riots and burning cars and everything. Terrorists are going to terrorize. That's who they are. That's how they identify, and that's how they interact with the world." There are still parts of France that are very traditional, but the big city, probably not. Sadly, parts of America are the same: Detroit, Chicago, and California. True, but in the last election you saw how much of our country is, like that, and how much of our country is still pretty traditional. Wow. They had one of those Quonset buildings that are made of metal that are pretty good size. I'd say it's 30 by 50. They must have had a tree fall through it because it was completely U-shaped. Wow. That's too bad. All right, another little town, but this is not the big city town that I'm looking for. Noisy. Okay, I'm gonna have to slow down. We are no longer just flat. I can still see the horizon, but we are definitely getting some rolling here. All right, there is a prerequisite. Feed mill. Huge concrete building and a white country church with a steeple on it. Okay. Slowing down. And they're storing a lot of anhydrous there's ammonia, a bunch. There are still some houses here that look like somebody lives in them. That's a plus. Somebody tidy lawn. Some very old trees. Okay, so this town is a little bit more industrious than the last one. They have a red brick building. This one is Center Township Hall, but it doesn't look like they use it anymore. We got a four-way stop sign, we got a co-op and an ag building, and I think I'm just going straight. So I will stop. Center Ag Convenience Store. Do they have a stop sign? I think so. Okay. Here we go. There's a little liquor store. Thank goodness for that. Gotta have our booze. And one of those little square houses. Man, I just think they're really cute. They had to all be built around the same time. Probably the Depression. All right, we got one person living in a single wide with an RV right on the train tracks. Right on it. And we're out of town. That was it. Someplace that builds silos. It's the sheriff. Sheriff lives in a little yellow house right near the train tracks. Hey, Sheriff Deputy Carr. I have to go. You have a good one. Drive safe. All right, Dusty, thanks for showing up. I'm going to reschedule this appointment. I don't want to drive a 2-hour round trip just to come home and do it again for baseball practice in the other direction. Well, there you go. Doing some adulting decisions. I feel internationally most people are going nationalist, but Western Europe and Australia are gone. Gone. Yes, Minnesota is another one that's been overrun, says John Doe. Be safe, Dusty. God bless. Thanks for sharing, Dusty, and commenting. Hanging out with us in our live stream. All right. Another pump jack. Oh my God. Cute little building with the barn type roof. Oh my gosh. And of course, rotting into obscurity. Man. It's so sad what we're losing. With these cut out, modern, ugly houses. Just. I mean, I get it, I understand it, that doesn't mean I have to like it. There are some parts of America that are staying similar, staying the same. Same type construction, not growing, not changing a whole lot, and I cherish them because it's part of our history. They keep part of our history alive. And that's something that you see in London and England in general. Like there's very modern stuff happening there, but there's also very ancient things happening there. They have found Neolithic archaeological sites in England. They've found Roman ruins. I mean, there's a lot of history in their country. We don't have as long a history, but we have, things that made us uniquely American. And we don't need to lose that just for the sake of change. Five miles till I'm turning. The creek I'm traveling parallel to is pretty low right now. There's a highway crew fixing spraying weed killer. Spraying weed killer. That's a big old Quonset hut. Wow. And it's not near the house. It's got farm equipment in it. Right on the creek. I helped somebody put one of those up once. It was fairly simple, but it wasn't easy because the parts were heavy and unwieldy. Even so far out here, that brick house over there, very tidy. No trash sitting around, yard mowed. Aaron E. In the UK, 300 miles is a long way. And in the US, 300 years is a long time. I follow a Josh is a long time. I follow a Josh and Jace, I think, is the reels. Oh, lost service. There's Rock Lake Ranch. Shalom. Welcome to the live stream. Been online now 2 hours. The whole point of the live streams are for me to not fall asleep. I mean, to put it really, really bluntly. Not that I feel tired, but to, share with y'all while I'm driving along, doing nothing but driving along. And for you all to also talk amongst yourselves, because I can comment a little, but I've also got to pay attention to the road. So I'm also getting really hungry, and I'm going to stop and eat, but I don't speak tank. It's got the placards on it for fire. He's cooking along though. He's going 65 miles an hour. And you can definitely tell that we are no longer in the straight plains, man. We are definitely getting into the hilly part of Kansas. Roads going up and down and up and down. Who made it with me? John Doe, are you still here? Aaron, are you still here? My stupid phone was doing something, I don't agree with. There he is. He's still here. Dude. I saw a movie last night. Still here, just pounding T-posts. Oh, doing the easy stuff. Huh. I was online just trying to, spend a little time. I knew I had to drive this morning early, so I couldn't stay up late. And I finished watching a movie with Matthew McConaughey in it that I had never seen before. And I think it was early. I think he was a young guy, but maybe not. It was called Surfer, in his later body of scripts and things that I was very surprised by his choices. But had anybody ever heard of that? Hey, Sheepdog Tanker, thanks for checking in. Had anybody heard of him being in a movie by that title, Surfer Dude? that movie's been around a long time and I just didn't realize it. Well, if he did it lately, he stayed in really good shape. I mean, he had a really good tan, but I mean, they could have sprayed it on him. Hmm. The whole message was not to sell out to the digital world, to remain true to, who you are at your core, which is what most movies talk about. And it's like, that's very, very limited, as most of us know. Sometimes your core is not always right. It's around you and saying, good for me. Should I change my core? Should I try something new? And most of us have tried something new and gotten something better, right? I don't think. I mean, if you can make a ton of money and be famous just because you're a surfer, good on you. But that's only going to be a minority of the population, and you're not going to be able to just surf and make money. T-post pounding is one of the jobs I need to do also. Woman, you don't need to be out there T-post pounding. You and I need to have a tractor or something we can just pound it in with the bucket or something. Don't have the stamina right now. Prayers this respiratory thing goes away soon. Absolutely. Absolutely, prayers for your healing. I'm not, even if I'm feeling good, I am not going to go pound T-post with a T-post pounder. It's too heavy anymore. If I tried it with anything at all, it'd probably be like a 4-pound sledgehammer, and hopefully the ground is soft enough that I can make some headway. But if I'm leaving that to someone else these days, it would be too easy to injure myself. There's a reason we tie those cattle panels to trees on our property. Yes, it's so rotten. Tie those things on with just that baling twine. It comes with the hay we buy in the wintertime. And then if we need to move it, we just cut line and move it. I dug a hole in my yard once after it rained for 3 days. And I'm not trying that again. Tell you what, the homie that Northwest Prepper, I think that's what he goes by, Brother Tim recommended to me for small scale digging. Great. It has just the right angle, that the torque of you turning it and moving it digs out rocks that big. Which for a hand tool, those little shovels you buy at Walmart for $1 would bend. The handle would bend if you tried to move a rock that big. The homie is awesome. Now, what's the equivalent? What's a grown-up homie? I don't even know. I mean, a rock bar works, but it's so heavy. If it had some sort of long handle on it, then you could kind of like a PD. I might be able to use that to move bigger rocks, but no. Post pounding is good for arm strength as long as we don't overdo it. I love tying cattle panels wherever I can, but out here on the plains, I don't have enough trees, right? But you probably actually have soil out here on the plains, which is a benefit. You can pound something in and not hurt your shoulders. I pounded post mainly into hard packed clay, but here I'd hit rocks in a couple of inches. Hello, hope you're well, bro. Shalom, SK, and fam. There's Kermo Bear. Welcome to the live stream. I'm just rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Rolling, disapproving, roll high. Don't try and understand them. Just rope and die and brand them. That's old school. I hit rocks too, but 50% of the time, if you keep pounding, you can just bust through the rocks. Man, Aaron, strong. This propane truck's going a long way. Maybe it's got a place that has to go refill. Seeing a little bit more traffic on the road too. I could probably pass them, but we're going to go up a hill. I don't want to do that. I want to get over the crest and then maybe try. If you have to put in 100 of them, you're cooked without a power tool. Well, they've got a gas-powered pounder too, if you can pick it up. That's a lot of rocks to bust through though, and most of every hole just instead of an occasional post. Yeah, it's hard work we are. All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. Here we go. Passing the propane truck. I see mirages on the road, and there is a vehicle coming that I'll be well over before they come. Here we go. All right. Very good. Oh, a message is held. A tractor with an auger is on the wish list. Message held for review. Let me see. Who said what when? Ah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hide. Yep. This is not that kind. Yeah. This is not that kind of live stream. And it makes me wonder about a person who'd say something like that anyway. Good catch, Palmetto. All right, Grandma Ginger's farm. I have in between cattle panels also, and that helps stabilize without digging, but not always. Yeah, there's ways. I mean, we've propped up posts that they were attached to because the posts are in soft ground or shallow ground and start to move around. And it's to schwack. Yeah. Fencing. It's a thing, right? What are you fencing in? How can you stabilize the fence? It's important. Our son said there's two concepts in fencing: fencing in, fencing out. You're either trying to fence in something like animals, or you're fencing around something to keep your animals out. And mainly, as we know, it's either your garden or your orchard or your field. And I don't understand why, given a whole forest available for munching, some animals go for the garden. It's like, okay, it's plants, just like the ones that are out there. The ones out there are just as nutritious. So what is it about them? I don't know. Oh, there's an old red barn collapsed. That's a shame. I think I want to plant something out in the woods for the animals to go for, but the wild animals like the deer and the rabbits will eat it down before it ever grows up. So it seems like a fruitless pursuit. Fences make good neighbors, good fences make ribeyes. Okay, so there's a power plant right there, and a tower with like 6 dishes. I guess I could take the lid off this thing. Is it really helping me that every time I drink from it, it spills on me? Maybe it's a coal power plant. There's a lot of electric stuff coming off of that guy. And they've got a big old cell tower. It probably would behoove me to just forget about that lid, quit dripping all over myself. I do love my catapenos and my pallets. I love pallets. They're not made of the wood, but they're like a ready-made frame, right? Framework for something. And obviously I have a thing about it because I make little structures out of them. I just hope they last a little while, and I try to make sure they have a roof, or the one gets painted every year with some finish to try to save it, and it also has a roof on it. So I just find them useful. It saves a little bit of time to just have a ready-made frame to build out of. I made a wall-mounted can dispenser out of a pallet, and I loved it. I left it in the other house, though. Somebody's benefiting from it if they understand what it is, and you can make another one. All right, let's see. I think I'm coming into a place where I'm going to eat lunch. Maybe. I haven't seen a sign yet. Oh, yes. Yes, I am. Okay. So when I get to the restaurant, I'll probably just stop this live stream down. And like I said, if I'm feeling it, I will open another one up on the other side. But I will wait and see. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, though. I really do. Keeps me active, keeps my mind active to interact. See if my legs will work. They're sitting in the car so long. Boy. 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 Ugh. I don't know if these new seats are really very comfortable. They got those like wings on the edge that kind of make your shoulders go in one position. I like the old school seats better. Right. I don't know what that was. Piles of trees they bulldozed over. Road when you have someone to talk to.
In half a mile, turn left onto Northwest 20th Avenue, 24th Street.
Okay. Half a mile, turn what? Left. 4th Street. Let's see.
Take the next left onto Northwest 20th Avenue, 24th Street.
Okay. Is that where I really want to go? Or are you taking me out to the highway? I think I wanted to go straight ahead.
Continue for miles.
Okay, what do you do? yes, consider taking a break. Well, I'm gonna take a break. All right, y'all, let me just shut it down now. It'll save me a little time and trying to figure out where the heck I am in this town and where I'm wanting to go. Thank you so much. Good to see you all. If I don't see you again on the other side, then have a wonderful day. And if I do, then I'm looking forward to chatting some more. Bless you, shalom. Yes, I do. I want to stop. Hey, come on now.